PED. We said price elasticity of demand is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in price. We have different situations when we calculate. We have inelastic, we have elastic, we have unitary. Today we want to go into the graphical representation of this calculation. We have the result when we calculate our PED, that's Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus Q1 over P1. As soon as we're done with the our calculation, we have figures, we get results. So these results can also be graphically represented. Stop writing this. Can also be graphically represented. So we start with the first one. So when our PED, I think I have it here. Yeah. So when our PED is vertical, it simply means that it is perfectly inelastic. That means our elasticity, the price elasticity of demand for the products mentioned is perfectly inelastic. There's no significant change in the quantity demanded as a result of a change in price. So your PED is equals to 0. It is vertical. Do you understand the first point here? As soon as you're done with your calculation, when you get 0, you might be told to graphically represent your PED. So if you are going to represent it using via a graph, it has to be vertical. Do you get the point I'm making here? When you are done with calculation of your PED and your answer is 0, it will be graphically represented as this, vertical. So if the demand curve will be vertical, it means your elasticity is 0. Do you understand? Perfectly inelastic here. A perfectly inelastic demand is that demand, that quantity that does not change at all as the level of price changes. Perfectly inelastic. Do we understand? Perfectly inelastic. The second one, if it is horizontal, it simply means that the PED of our calculation of our product is perfectly elastic. It is to infinity. And if it is to infinity, it means from 2 above to 4, 5, 7, and 8. To whatever numbers we have, in as much as it is not 1. If it is inelastic, it is less than 1. 0.1, 0.2 to 0.9. It is inelastic. The PED is inelastic, if that's what you get. If it is 0, if your PED, as soon as you're done with your calculation, it is 0, it means perfectly inelastic. But if it is greater than 1, it is elastic. But if it's to infinity, that is more than maybe 3, 4, 7, 8 to infinity, it is perfectly elastic. Then your demand curve will be horizontal. If it is vertical, it is perfectly inelastic. If it is horizontal, it is perfectly elastic. If it is elastic, it means there's a significant change in the quantity demanded as a result of a change in price. I think we get the point here. It is perfectly elastic. It means there's a significant change in the quantity demanded as a result of a change in price. If it is perfectly elastic, it means to infinity. Your elasticity of demand is to infinity. Is it clear? And the last one, it is unitary. It means the significant, the quantity demanded, a change in the quantity demanded brings about the same change in the price of the product. A change in the quantity demanded brings about the same or exact change in the price of the product. That's why it's Mr. Latif over Mr. Latif will give you 1. Latif, 1, 1. Do you get the point? So here it is 1, because the price equals to the quantity demanded. When you divide them, you get 1. Do you understand the last point here? So it's hyperbola in forms of rectangle. So the demand curve will be this for a unitary, which is minus 1. If it is to infinity, it's going to be horizontal. If it is vertical, it means a perfectly inelastic demand. A perfectly inelastic demand is not the same as an inelastic demand. They are different. It is inelastic if it is from 0, it's less than 1, from 0.1 until 0.9. It is perfectly inelastic if it is 0. It is elastic if it is greater than 1. It is perfectly elastic if it is more than to infinity. Numbers like 10, 11, whatever number you get, which is to infinity. If it is minus 1, it is unitary. It means the change in quantity demanded brings about the same exact change in the price. Any question about that? Any question, please?
Yes.
Yes, please. Where?
What do you mean by infinity? Is it the demand of price of
PED.
No, infinity.
Infinity means numbers like 7, 8, 100, to infinity, any number.
I know. But why is the number there? Like, what involves the number?
Any number that is more than.
What does it represent?
What infinity, right? I can't, because it's a number that we cannot even say.
I mean like price or
No, quantity, no, it's PED, it's your calculation.
Okay.
Your calculation could be 0.1, could be 2, could be 3. But if your PED, as soon as you calculate your PED, it's giving you like numbers like 7, 8, 100, 200, 1000. These are infinity.
Yeah.
So it is perfectly elastic. Infinity is numbers that we cannot comprehend. We cannot stop there. We can't. It's forever.
Yes.
You get it? It's a number. But this number is not a number that we can. Billions, they are infinity.
Not to zero and not below.
Not below, yes.
For elastic, there is no significant change in quantity.
Elastic, there is significant change in the quantity demanded as a result of a change in price. For elastic, inelastic, there's no significant change in the quantity demanded as a result of a change in price. Perfectly elastic, it means to infinity. Perfectly inelastic, 0. So just put it this way. The opposite of inelastic is elastic, right? Then we said perfectly elastic should be perfectly inelastic. So if perfectly inelastic is 0, then if perfectly inelastic it's 0, then perfectly elastic will be infinity. You get it now? Any other question? Then we go to the two technical points about PED. The first one is about the change in variable, and the second one is about the change in price. So I'm going to explain each one. A rise in price, I think it's here. Yeah, the two technical points. A rise in price will be matched with a fall in quantity demanded based on the law of supply, or law of demand. The higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. The lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. That's the law of demand. So here, a rise in price, which is a variable, because prices can change. It is not fixed. Because it can change, it means it. Put your head up, please. And sit properly now. Thank you. Because it's a change, because it's a variable, because it is bound to change. So price can change. So because price can change, we consider it as to be one of the variables. So a change in one variable will bring about a change in another variable. That is a technical point. A change in one variable like price will bring about a change in the other variable, which is quantity. In demand, it is about quantity and price. Price is a variable because it changes every now and then. Quantity is a variable because it can also change every now and then. Do we get the point I'm making here? So the first technical point is that as soon as one variable like price changes, the other variable is bound to change. So a rise in one variable will bring about a fall in another variable. Do we understand?
Yes.
Do we get the point I'm making here? A rise in one variable like price will bring about a fall in another variable like quantity demanded. Clear? The second point, elasticity of demand over the same price range may differ. The price of, this is a marker, sorry, this is a bottled water. The price of a marker could be $1 and this is $1. Now it has increased to 2 and this has also increased to 2. The quantity demanded for marker might not increase and the quantity demanded for water could increase. It depends on the necessity or other factors that determine elastic or inelastic. Do you get the point I'm making here? The price of these two might be at the same. Initially they are the same. Now there's a rise in price for both of them. So the quantity demanded for these might rise and the quantity demanded for these might fall. The quantity demanded for this might fall and the quantity demanded for this might still rise. So the inelastic or elastic of this product will be determined by other factors that determines the PED. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So a price range change could bring about different quantity demanded at any point in time. One of the reasons why we could have a rise in the quantity demanded. Stop that and just focus here. One of the reasons why we could have a rise in the quantity demanded for this is because this is a necessity. If this is a necessity, it means irrespective of the price, we're still going to buy. One of the reasons why the demand for this might fall is that we have a substitute for this. So if we're not buying this marker, we could buy another competitor's marker. Do we understand the difference here? So either way, as I've mentioned, they are all factors that determine the price elasticity of demand. But the point we need to know about the technical point is that the first one is a change in one variable will bring about a change in another variable. A rise in one variable will bring about a fall in another variable, which is price and quantity. The second point is that a product might change at the same time, but the quantity demanded might not change the same quantity at the same range. So the factors I mentioned here is necessity and substitute. So if a product has a substitute, then we can easily switch to buy other products. But if a product is designed or is seen as necessity, that is needed, we would also buy it irrespective of the price. Are they clear? Any question about it? Any question? Thank you.